Hey everyone, D-Dub Squizzy here. Welcome back to Swordflight. Alright, I'm hoping all the sound stuff is working fine. All of the stuff that gets recorded, the audio that I specifically use, was that a Savage Ruffian? No, just a regular thug. Was for some reason changed or removed. There was no audio capture set. So I reset it. Just hoping I got the same kind of stuff. I think I've got it down. And you'd think after the slaughter that was the Titan gang, they'd have heard by now. Well, I guess every ruffian isn't connected, huh? Goodness, my armor class is just terrible. And I'm worried it's going to be that way for the entire game. I guess I could properly stat buff if I really wanted to, but I'm a hit point guy, so I guess I probably don't really need it that bad. That guy's throwing things at me too. Dummies. Who are you? What's your business? I have a package. I wasn't expecting a delivery. I suppose I better see what this is. I'll be right with you. I'm just gonna loot the place real quick. Bah, nothing. Have a package for me? I wonder who would have sent me such a thing. Merchant who asked me to deliver it spoke of you as one of his customers. I wasn't. Let's see what it is. Here's the package. There are some bottles inside. What is this? I recognize these. There are containers full of extract of Black Lotus, an illegal narcotic. Why would someone send me this? Before either of you could say any more, you hear someone pounding on the door. This is the City Watch. Open in the name of the law. Some kind of setup. Can you hide or dispose that package? I was serving a tier, and if I could, I would not engage in such shenanigans. We'll explain the situation honestly and straightforwardly to the Watch. Deal with whatever comes of that best as we can. The door begins to open. The Watch's earlier demand is merely a formality. They're not going to wait. Typical. I'm glad you're here, men of the Watch. It seems we've become embroiled in a matter deserving your attention. I'll do the talking here. I'm Lieutenant Sivad Karez. I've received some information indicating that you are a corrupt priest secretly indulgent in Black Lotus, and that this man is your supplier. See, you're holding some of the bottles right there. You've been caught red-handed. Things are not as they appear. A bizarre story. Who would have set up such an elaborate frame? Hardly a refutation of anything we've said. You must know the Temple of Tyr has many enemies, from competing deities and belief systems to those who simply dislike the influence it wields. There are many who take delight in seeing a prominent priest involved in this scandal. I'm supposed to think no priest of Tyr could ever do wrong. There have been genuine cases of corruption. So it does provide dramatic evidence. It's foolish people allow such things to shake their faith when they knew all along such unpleasant discoveries were a possibility. I suppose it's only natural, but I digress. The point at issue is whether I'm guilty of a specific crime, not these larger matters. I have solid evidence here pointing to your guilt, only a rather improbable tale is the basis for doubting it. Sure, an officer with a watch like you had occasion to develop good instincts when it comes to judging character. Do we seem more likely to be criminals than whoever it was that gave you the tip you received? You raise a good point. Since the source was an anonymous note delivered to me, it does seem a little too convenient. Still, it was correct to tell me you would be bringing contraband here. Had experienced detecting liars. My gut feeling here is that you two are telling the truth, and challenging the word of a priest of Tyr requires a less shaky case than I seem to have. The whole matter is strange, but let it give you the benefit of the doubt. You've told me your version of what's going on. Not sure there's anything more to ask. I'll be continuing to investigate, just in case I have further question. Information about you indicate you work for a Galadar. I certainly hope you will continue investigating. It'd be good to know who's behind the attempt. Might have been aimed at Galadar as well. Don't believe you ever get more information on that weird encounter. At least, I don't think I have yet. Okay, market. Again. Ow. Well, there's really not much reward out of killing those guys. Wait. I can search the garbage again. I got an Amulet of Will out of the last one. That tells me at least sometimes it's useful. Market. Yep, merchant's gone. Alright, well, with that taken care of, I can at least head over into Dark Calimport. So these portions were natural caves, not likely what Innis Sankar is interested in, unless there's ruins to be found down here. Ointment of stone to flesh. That does not fill me with confidence as far as what I'm about to encounter. That said, most petrification type things are based around fortitude, and I've got a pretty good fortitude. Okay. Let's, you first. Ha! You missed. Ow. Man, that hurts. I hate these things. Giant beetles are named for their ability to lob balls of digestive acid over considerable distances. So, these aren't just large versions of real bombardier beetles, basically. They're totally different, because real bombardier beetles don't use their digestive fluids. At least, I'm pretty sure they don't. Near as I understand it, they have ingredients to an explosive chemical cocktail inside their body in 2 separate chambers, which they can fire out in 2 streams that combine and then detonate. Great. I'm glad I rolled a 1 again. Alright, that was all very frustrating. I have an acid resistance thing. Why didn't I basilisks? Then can I reasonably assume... Yeah, I'm not going to have to fight those at least. Okay, how many basilisks are there? I've only seen 2 so far. Let's see what I gotta save to survive them. 15. Okay, so I have to roll a 1 to die to these things. Which means as long as I don't dilly-dally, I should be alright. I'm certainly not going to be able to make use of the ointment that I have. Given that if I get turned to stone, it's not like I can really put it on me. And it's not a preventative. Notice some tracks on the ground. I'm glad I still get the same degree of experience for smashing statues that I would if they were actually fighting me. Oh, I didn't finish that one. Tracks of what appears to be a number of humanoids have been made in the dust and grime on the floor. An adventuring party exploring the surrounding caves. Examining more closely, you find the tracks of what appears to be 3 humans and a dwarf. The 3 humans left tracks both coming and going, but from the evidence here, it seems the dwarf might still be found somewhere in the caves beyond. Okay, so we have an exit point here. Randomly explore, remain. Well, yeah, we're going to remain here for the time being. The way that this place works, and there's a couple of examples of places like these throughout Swordflight, where there will be areas where you can go and randomly explore, often basically, well, it's random. You just start walking and looking around. They can be dangerous. You never know where you're going to go, and oftentimes you can... monsters will respawn as you continue to re-explore the places. My preferred method of dealing with them is doing a once-over of everywhere, and then leaving. Assuming there's nothing new to go through. Ow. Really? I'm missing so many times in a row. I don't like hook horrors. Okay, this area is clear. Let's see what lies beyond. Oh, great. Okay, right. I have a solution to these. What am I doing? They're all here. There's another reason that I wouldn't really want to get that holy symbol. I have to, or I don't have to. It's far more convenient not having to reallocate all my spells every time I switch necklaces over. My paladin has one of those holy symbols, but he doesn't take advantage of its spells very often. Because he has to constantly switch it around for elemental resistances. They're important enough to my cleric that he just re-switches them every time. Or he doesn't do that. He just tolerates the elemental stuff or finds spells to counteract them, which I suppose, if I was a high enough level druid, I could absolutely do. Stingers. Ooh, that's not ideal. Okay, sorcerer, superior snipers. Well, don't let him get away. Kill him now. Where are you going, buddy? Ow. Alright. I very much doubt there's anything down here. There's not. More fire beetles. I don't like these blazing ones. But I guess I'm not going to get at them immediately, huh? And these things have a crazy high attack, for fire beetles at least. And they get 2 attacks around, it looks like. That's not my amulet. I can see a big middle area there. But I figure I'll clear out the 4 corners first. More stingers. I want to draw out the snipers first, but if this sorcerer really wants to die, hey, I'll take it. These dudes are hitting me with a 6. He rolled a 6 and he hit me. Okay, called shot. A little more difficult, just marginally. If he uses something like called shot, then he has to roll, you know, like a whole 11. I need to, next time I'm in town, I need to bring in, like, a small pile of healing kits. I need multiple stacks. I guess I didn't have a ton of money after my last venture. And I would like to save up for that scabbard of enhancement. Having a troll, the ultimate solution to all troll encounters in your back pocket is super handy, because those things are a freaking nightmare. But 28 grand is a lot. That might be more than I've spent on any single object. Especially when I know you can find them in some places. Alright, more basilisks. I rolled 2 1s. Good thing I rolled them on my attacks, not my saves. Well, there's a 1. 3 1s. It's been 2 rounds and I rolled 3 1s. I would like there to be another solution, but simply put, when it comes to basilisks in Neverwinter Nights, there isn't one. It is literally charge them and hope that you can succeed on all of your throws. That should completely nullify. You can animal empathy these things. Maybe not. Interesting thing to try next time. That would probably be the dwarf that we found. Or dwarf whose tracks we found. Dwarven warrior seems bewildered and angry. What's going on? Where'd those big lizards go? What are you doing here? Do those treacherous scum arrange for you to finish me off? Not sure what you're talking about. Found you petrified. I've restored you. Curious what you were doing here. Curiosity is my good luck, I guess. Might be better to wonder what you're doing here, though. Idle curiosity is a pretty silly reason to take on basilisks. Why were you fighting them? Foul treachery. I'm a mercenary warrior. Hire my sword out to anyone who needs it. My latest job, I was hired by several adventurers, a couple spellcasters, and a rogue who needed a good sword arm to round out their group. Found a map to some old ruin down here, supposed to be full of wealth, so we went to claim it. The usual thing, killed a bunch of undead, found some treasure. I did almost all the work. Spellcasters kept saving their spells for the right moment, which never came, and the rogue was supposed to sneak about and strike as opportunity presented, but he did a lot more sneaking than striking. As we were making our way back to civilization with the plunder, I complained about it and said I should get a larger share of the loot, seeing as I did most of my work to get it. Wasn't serious, mind you. I stick to my contracts. Should have realized something was up when they immediately agreed, but I was so pleased they recognized their failings and planned to make up for it that I didn't. Wasn't much later, though, that the rogue suddenly grabbed at the bag of treasure I was looking out and shoved me to the ground. Before I could get up, 3 of them suddenly turned invisible. That's what they were saving their spells for, double-crossing me. They'd picked their spot, too. No sooner had I gotten up and dusted myself off than I saw a bunch of basilisks coming at me from all sides. That's the last thing I remember till you unstoned me just now, which reminds me, who are you? What are you doing wandering around? I'm just exploring. I'm quite pleased to make your acquaintance. Bearish Folkleaver. What do you intend to do now? Once I get out of these caves, I intend to hunt down my former partners and teach them better behavior. No hurry, though. If you want me to lend a sword while you're wandering about these caves, I could offer my services to you at an extra cheap rate till you're ready to leave, only 50 gold. You're still going to charge me. Didn't ask you to save me, so you're lucky. I'm even offering that much. Not saying I don't owe you a favor, but there are limits. I couldn't work for free, just not right. You want me to come with you or not? Fine. So he has a shield, which is a +3 tower shield with spell resistance, which is pretty gnarly. +3 regeneration full plate. A +3 keen fire slow sword. Like, okay. Well, since I found him, also I'm taking all of this stuff, I can take a moment to talk about one of my problems with companions in Swordflight. Because most of them have this. So Swordflight's real stingy with certain items, or certain effects, I should say. Immunity to mind effects, immunity to death magic, freedom, any kind of constant elemental, well, more than one of any kind of elemental resistance, and regeneration. Those are the ones I've noticed it's more stingy with than anything else. And reasonable enough, like, those resistances and immunities make various encounters throughout all of Neverwinter Nights comically easy, and one of the reasons that my characters by the end are usually so overpowered is because of those effects. However, a minor degree of regeneration wouldn't be the end of the world, it'd just be helpful. In the whole time I've played through Swordflight, I have not found a single item that grants me any of those, except for like 1 or 2 exceptions, up at the very end. They were pretty minor in what they did as well. That wouldn't bother me alone, I guess. I mean, I would prefer those things, but still. What does bother me is that they give the most jacked equipment to all of the companions. Barrage is not even that powerful. And yet he can get his hands on... every companion, I think, except for like 2 or 3 minor exceptions, have regenerating equipment. Zoral is one of them, I guess, because she's going to be with me long term. I'm just going to say by the end of this module, we're basically stuck with her forever. And there's a couple of others, but not many. Most of the ones you pick up are there pretty temporarily. And so I guess to make it a little easier on you, they gave them regeneration equipment. But it does bother me that the companions get all this really nice stuff just for no real reason. They just get to have it. And you can't find anything even close to it most of the time. Like at least a little regeneration. Or some freedom would be handy. Eyeballs. That's not good. Ow. Well, it's a good thing they chose to redirect their attacks. They also always have absurdly high armor classes, I've noticed. Almost every companion has a ridiculous armor class. For him, it makes a little bit of sense. He is a Dwarven Defender. But much of that comes from his ridiculous equipment. I don't know. I don't mean to sound petty or ridiculous. It just kind of bothers me is all. I'd like some of that good stuff. His armor alone, if you had that, would probably carry you through most of the third module. If you were a fighter class. Like, not only would you wear that, it would be better than just about everything else that you found. His sword is absurd. Basically, for my paladin, the sword that I have at the end is pretty close to the equivalent of his. Now, I did juice mine a little bit as a paladin. They give you the ability to actually choose a Holy Avenger. You can make a weapon into one. I chose the sword that was a lot like that. But, like, it's, I think it's keen +3 by default and does electric damage or something like that, and it's a long sword. It's like 1d4. Even that's not, like, unbelievably powerful. It's decently strong. But that's like the best thing I have found so far. He was gonna cast some kind of harm spell on me. My attack is better than his, curiously. And I think my damage... Oops, no. I think my damage is, too. 1d8 plus 5, 1d12 plus 9. Yeah, my damage is significantly better. But he's a Dwarven Defender. Partially a Dwarven Defender. So I'd figure that's where most of his focus has gone. Which is why I said, for someone like him, having the higher armor class makes sense. My paladin at some points has actually relied on Zarala to absorb the focus of some dangerous enemies. Because she has, I think at the end of the game, she's got like a 60-something armor class. And that's better than my paladins when I'm not using any of my divine protection abilities, which I have, but they don't last all that long, and they take charges of divine channeling, and so I don't have a limitless number of them. I do use them, mind you, but it's not a constant thing, and even when I do, I'm only just up there as like an equivalent. Oh boy. There be spiders here. Oop! I was just about to step away from it. Oh. Perfect. Barrage looks like he's been through some stuff. More stingers, more stingers. Okay, so that's a shaman. Got it. So a couple more snipers. I saw another warrior and a shaman again. Oh, goodness. Ow. He's a decently high level. I'm pretty sure he used a 5th level spell, because I believe that was Slay Living. He's got a better armor class than most of them. Damage reduction. He casts Stone Skins? Oh well. If he was smart, he would have cast Bull Strength and then Dark Fire and then started wailing on me, because then I would have been absolutely screwed. But he didn't. Might have to heal him a little bit just to keep him from getting himself killed. He has regeneration. He'll be fine the rest of the way. I think there's only one, maybe 2 areas left down here. Yeah, haven't been here yet. You get new XP for each area that you cross. Oh. Oh, goodness. They're definitely not beholders. They're nowhere near as powerful or dangerous. Little swarm of those things, though, they really hurt you. I'm getting pretty close to leveling up. I just realized, I think I forgot to loot that crystal that was right next to Barrage. You kind of have to come down here eventually for that. Because that's used for something later. There's supposed to be a quartz crystal there. And I think I forgot to grab it. Here we are. I'm probably going to have to kill 1 or 2 more groups of monsters. I don't know if they respawn on a timer or on a visit basis. I guess I'll find out. Okay. That is a lot of fire beetles. Now, if they target him, they'll tear him up. He doesn't have, I think, any fire resistance. Yeah, that one there's got its shield up, too. That's gonna hurt him. Those shields are nasty. Nope, don't hit that thing. You're gonna get yourself killed. Nope. Oh, you idiot. He killed it, and I didn't get any XP for it. I wish they would just do what they are told. Stay right here, dummy. I don't want to waste another scroll on you. Please tell me the basilisks aren't back. Okay. That. Blue quartz crystal. You need that for something later. Let's head back now. Okay. I think we can head straight for the entrance. It's time to cease your explorations. Return to the point where you first entered. You'll have to be able to remember all the twists and turns you took. If you fail to do this, you may end up in a random section from which you'll have to try again. Follow my own trail in reverse. 150 XP, that's a lot. You really make a lot of XP very easily off of that ranger thing. Oh, well, the nature thingy. Tracking stuff has been pretty profitable experience-wise so far. I think you do get a decent bit for finding your way out due to wisdom as well. That's what my cleric used. But I don't think it was that much. We made it back to civilization. I'm going to be heading off, seeing as if I've got business of my own to take care of. I think I still owe you, so if you run into me again, I'll still be willing to offer my services at a bargain rate. A bit more than 50 if it's a long-term thing, but still a lot cheaper than what I usually ask for. I could assist you in hunting them down. Likely to be tedious work, and you have your own tasks. Thanks, but I think I can take care of it. Alright. So, Dark Calimport under the Merchant District is now cleared. Gotta sell some stuff, restock, buy a little more stuff, because that wasn't even that tough, and that drained quite a bit of my supplies. Right. I'll go to the magic guy and sell my reagents. $250, bunch of beetle bellies and basilisk eyes. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna throw... What did I save? I don't want to have to buy that back. I didn't get that far. I meant to click that. I must have clicked the wrong one. It is a little bit annoying that the maintenance workers never acknowledge when you wipe out a bunch of were-rats from an area. I feel like if you go through, kill a couple dozen of them, they should see a difference there, because a couple dozen's quite a few for such a confined location. Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay, so they change it out with cell. That's kind of dumb. Dexterity. All right. Scimitar +2. Stormcaller's Rod. I've got one of those. Shield of Dual Wielding. Gives you ambidexterity and 2-weapon fighting. Uncleared why the bizarre shield was made. Some say it was built by a now vanished legendary race of creatures with 3 arms. Others say its craft was intoxicated at the time of forging. That's just to make fun of people. At least there are those gloves to balanced hands. I think it's cool that those are in the game, because those things are pretty neat. I guess I did spend quite a bit of money on my rings, didn't I? $2,000 for a useless shield. Oh, he doesn't actually sell any healing gear. Okay. I'll go find someone who does. I'm not going to have enough to get anything I really want either, so I might as well head over to the temple. I think they have more healing stuff. And potentially for a better price, although I'm not sure. Even the druid guy with his discount, it doesn't seem to be a very big discount. He sells a limitless number of those. Good to know. And a couple of potions of heal. Also sell gems of true sight, which only have a single blast of sight, and regeneration. You know, it seems weird to me that you'll say, you know, it takes 5 charges to use this thing. It has 50 charges. Why not just say it takes 1 charge to use it and give it 10? I feel like that it's needlessly complex. A Rod of Resurrection. Honestly, I should probably grab one of those at some point, but it is pretty unbelievably expensive. Okay, I gotta head back to the Noble Estates and rest. Now, I don't think I'm going to get to explore all of the ruins. Well, I'm certain I'm not going to get to explore all of the ruins. But I should be able to make at least a little bit of headway. Get started in them within this episode. Very close to leveling up again. I don't think this guy's got anything more to say to me. At least he's nice. Alright. Trapdoors all the way over in the former were-rat encampment. Now mass lycanthrope graveyard. I always forget how freaking huge the sewers in this place are. They are by far the largest of any of the places. But that's because it single, like in one area, connects to all of the major noble estates. Except for the Kakars. I don't see a connection to the Kachar, however you say it, to their estate. That'd be one of the ones I evaded last time I was here. Okay. So that's random exploration place. More webs. Oh. I have an 18 armor class right now. Okay, at least he wasted a round casting a worthless web. Ow. That's really bad. Oh, come on. Just gonna spam knockdowns on me? It really is. I generally don't see enemies using it that many times in a row. Even when they do have it. It gives you really significant penalties on your attack. Okay. So that was painful. I probably should have buffed up before fighting it. Spiders prefer to suck the blood of live prey, still living creatures within the mass. To your surprise, you cut the weapon away and orc struggles free. This one hardly seems typical. You're not from our tribe. What tribe are you of? Wait, you're a half-breed. You must be from the surface. Why are you here? It saved me from the spider. How'd you end up in that fix? Be a bit of a long story. I think you want to hear it. Might be interested in what I tell you. Maybe we can work together to help both orcs here below and half-orc people above. Come from the town of Bloody Blades Orcs, just to the west of here. We're not like other orc tribes, though. Many years ago, we captured a human in a raid. Instead of killing him, our chief made him slave, and have him teach his daughter, Princess Gunkrzel, things like how to read and write. Chief thinks this makes her a better leader when she takes over, which he wanted for her to do with his sons, having all been killed. Princess Grunkazil learned many other things from the slave that the chief maybe not have wanted. The slave was a follower of the god Helm, taught Princess about him. She found that Helm was a better god than orc gods. Following Helm, we fight only to defend the tribe, not always launch raids that make Calimport people want to hunt us down and kill us. Too many orcs were getting killed following the old ways. When the old chief died and the princess take over the tribe, she declares that Helm is now the god of the tribe. Her duty as a leader is to protect the tribe, let it grow large and strong, not lead pointless raids. We now worship a civilized god and seek peace with civilized people, not just savages. I, Rangorank, listening to the new ideas of princess, became priest of our new god Helm, the vigilant one, god of guardians. Some still want to follow the old orc gods and make trouble. We must torture many to death. Yikes. Also must kill all the old priests. Why torture them? You could just kill them, but yeah. Even when they try to reform themselves, they can't do it without killing and torturing. It's not so easy to change ways so fast. At this time, the Bloody Blades lived in the mountains to the north. Grumsh, the great orc god, was angry at the princess and our tribe for ceasing to worship him and killing his priests. He stirred up other orc tribes to make war on us. Aided by Helm, we crushed all of the foes, litter battlefields with our mangled bodies, but this still causes great trouble. We fight more wars than before, so the princess leads us away, takes us far underground, so we're not always attacked. In time, we come to this place, far from foes, and set up town. For a time, all was good. Then were-rats came to us, asked us to join them in an attack on the surface city. Grunkrazel doesn't want this, says it'd be some sort of foolishness that she's trying to avoid. That in the end, humans would just crush us, but there would be one of the tribe, Grujhar, who says it's a great opportunity. He convinces many that Princess is the bad leader for abandoning the old gods and old home. Princess plans to have him killed before he destroys all she do, but he's too clever, comes with a plan. Declares himself a priest of Grumsh, and that god grants him power. He's not so easy to fight, but according to the old tradition of the tribe, he's very wrong to ever kill other members of the tribe unless they condemned to death by the chief. Since Grujar tried to revive the old ways, he could not go against this, could not actually kill the princess or me, even though he opposes Helm and wants to. But he finds strange cult of humans in this place. They need someone of royal blood to sacrifice in a strange ritual. Grujar arranges for them to kidnap the princess so he doesn't have to kill her himself, then he takes me here, bash on the head, and leave for spiders. Wow. Yeah, that's sure following the old ways. Grujar will now have made himself chief of the tribe, with anyone who would say no to that gone. He will join the were-rats in attacking the surface city, but now I'm free and Barbarian from surface is here too. We'll work together, we can free the princess from the cold, kill Grujar, and make her leader. This helps us and helps you. Since with her running things, we're not enemies. Be simpler to eliminate the threat you orcs pose. Yeah, but I'm not that crazy. There'll be no match for the half-orc, or for the half-breed barbarian like you and a fierce orc like me. First, we'll head to the cultist lair, show you way, go west towards our town, then head south. Won't the cult already have killed the princess? They need to perform lots of rituals first, do stuff during certain phases of the moon, that sort of thing, and there's still time. Restrictions on killing fellow tribe members. You won't attack them. Now that Grujar is the chief, he declares a sentence against me and the princess. If we run across bloody blades, they'll try to kill us, but we kill them instead and get rid of traitors. Alright. Wow. Okay, so he's got his stuff. I'm gonna take all of these. Rune of Reinvigoration. Draws upon the user's life force, providing a invigorating burst of power and energy and nearby companions. Item can be used effectively during combat if one succeeds at a difficult concentration check, yada yada. Okay, so basically, it's a sleep stone. You use it, it's like you had just slept, except you don't have to rest, and it happens instantaneously. I'll leave him with his potions, at least he can now heal himself. 1 divine damage, plus 2 sword. See, that's the kind of sword that I would expect most companions to have. Plus 2 shield, with some saving throws. Gives him charisma, concentration. The slashing resistance is pretty huge. Exotic weapon proficiency for the sword. Plus 2 half plate and regen. Plus 2 constitution, plus 2 deflection. See, this is good stuff. Very good gear. But it doesn't feel like it's so far beyond the kind of stuff I would ever have my hands on. It seems fair enough. He's a cleric, and if he properly stat buffed, he'd be a handful. I guess he's always going to have a better armor class than I do. That's just because I lack a shield. If I had a shield, my armor class would be significantly better. Not as good as lots of other people's, but it would be a lot better. Okay, so that's exit the area to the orc towns over there. Going up as a druid. Alright, I've been putting both of those up. Let's put concentration this time. Okay, who's got the most health? Is it the wolf? The dire rat? Okay, the dire wolf has 49, 59. Yeah, we're taking you. I got wild shape. What does that let me do? Character with this ability can take the shape of any animal at will. May be used once per day at 5th level, twice per day at 6th, 3 times per day at 7th, 4 times at 10th, 5 times at 14th, 6 times at 18th. Duration of 1 hour per class level. After choosing the ability, character must choose an animal form. Any animal that I want? Badger, boar, wolf, panther, brown bear. Okay. No, so my options are, in fact, quite limited. Can I not just put it as wild shape and then I choose which one? I guess I'll have to choose every time. Okay. Well, if I ever have to sneak around, I think I can turn into a panther and have it pretty good. Okay, I think we can push forward a little bit more. Beyond this point, the territory of the Bloody Blades. Trespassers will be fine with their own chopped-off body parts being the only currency accepted. That's not very nice. I gotta say, for trying to be more civilized, they seem just as mean and murderous. Okay, so we're like in the midst of the Bloody Blades, so they're probably going to have patrols out here. Ooh, there's a lot of guys. That worked on no one. Alright, well, let's see what happens, I guess. Hi, guys. Okay, this is gonna go poorly. He's got a decent armor class, and he does hit pretty hard. Oh, ouch. One more swing, come on. Put him down, put him down, put him down. There you go. Okay. Oh, thanks, man. That was that's a pretty awesome. Probably should have cast whatever that was first. Well, those guys can be rough. I guess I did kind of charge them head on, and they had us way outnumbered. I probably should have lured some of them out. But we won. Okay, so south is to the cultist, which is where we want to go. Notice that his shield looks almost like glass. Or not, it doesn't really look like glass. I guess it does kind of look like stained glass. But it's a little see-through. Okay, so I definitely want to save here. But now I want to see. So do I have any stealth, really? Move silently and hide are 1. Right, because my dex, but I think my armor makes it a little worse. But if I were to do Panther, he's just staring down at me. Hide is now a 6, move silently is a 6. Yeah, it's really not very handy. Still kind of terrible. 140 hit points. That thing has more hit points than me. Weird. Okay. Well, that was more just to settle my curiosity. So we're in Dark Calimport then. We'll be picking up the next episode, heading south to go try to rescue the princess from the cultists, wiping them out, and then we'll be coming back to deal with the rest of these orcs. I'm going to tell you, this is a long and rough quest. There are some dangerous things here, and this is not my best character, so we're probably going to have some reloading in the next episode to get through a couple of nasty, nasty enemies, but we'll get through them. But that is all for this one then. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.